is calling from Doveridge. Good evening.
Hi, good evening, Nigel. I'm a great admirer of yours, and I applaud the stance you're taking on this, particularly after all the work you've done to get us out of Europe. But I'm afraid, in this case, you're about 15 years too late.
Right, go on.
Depends which side of the hill you were in Oldham, because I was working for, 5 years there in urban regeneration, which is what I do.
Yes.
One side of the hill is populated by Bengalis, Bangladeshis.
Yes.
The other side by Pakistanis, and they hate each other. They're so ghettoized, they don't talk to each other at all. So you're not going to get into those ghettos.
Yes, you're the second caller, Tony, that's indicated that actually there are huge divisions within the same religion.
Well, it was so bad, if you cast your mind back, we were working on the west side, which was Westwood. I suspect it was Featherstall Road you were knocking, where nobody was speaking English.
You may well be right.
We did a lot of work in there. And on the other side of the hill, the Pakistani community felt they were being ignored, so they started setting fire to their own houses to draw attention to their own plight, which is what let the BNP nutters in, which led to the Oldham riots.
Yes, and the other thing, Tony. I mean, you talk about those divisions in Oldham within those different communities. The other thing I was struck by is I went to Oldham shortly after the riots, and was it 2005, the riots?
Yeah.
Okay, I went to Oldham shortly after that, and I was on a panel, BBC debate programme, with the late Charles Wheeler, the veteran BBC correspondent. And he'd been to Oldham for the government and conducted a study as to the cause of the riots. And you know what was incredible, Tony? Was what I saw then in Oldham was an area was either black or it was white. It was literally... the only thing I'd seen like it was in Belfast, where one side of the street was Protestant and the other side of the street was Catholic. And that was what struck me had happened in Oldham. And I wondered then, Tony, how on earth we get black and white to mix. But you're saying, actually, within the Muslim community, they're not mixing.
Absolutely. No, they don't like it. Well, they're at war. The Bengalis aren't allowed to use Bangladeshi as a language. On that Featherstall Road, we paid for a monument called Shahid Minar. It's a monument to their war dead, and they couldn't agree over that. And the other sad thing was my wife was working with me at the time. She works in regeneration as well, and we managed to persuade Tesco to open the store, and we gave preference to Asian youngsters from the area.
Yep.
The kids, bless them, were having to arrive 10 minutes early and leave 10 minutes early to get changed back into their garb to go home to mum and dad.
Gosh, we have, Tony, got a long way to go in places like Oldham, haven't we?
I think it's too late. I think you've had it. I think the mill towns, by and large, are probably write them off, because I don't think there's anything you can do. You're going to have to look 2-3 generations down the road. Young imam guy, the guy who was training to an imam working on our team, was kind of sanguine about it. He said, well, don't worry, because it'll never happen to you what the IRA are doing, because we'll just breed you out.
Tony, that's a slightly different perspective on it, but I do think that we have got to a state where some parts of our cities and towns, maybe we have passed the point where integration can happen, but it's pretty depressing and it's pretty worrying. And the trouble is, Tony, the more that happens, the more Darren Osborns there are likely to be. So whether you're right or not about Oldham and some of these mill towns, we surely have to keep trying. Tony, I thank you for your call, albeit a bit of a depressing one.